All right, Hen Gee, legendary producer. A lot of people know you from your work with Ice-T, but for the people that aren't super familiar with a lot of the artists that you worked with in the game, can you give us just a brief rundown of some of your discography? I know you can't get into all of it, but
My name is Hen Gee, Hengee. Gee is for Garcia. I'm the brother of Ice-T's DJ since day one, DJ Evil E. Our family's from Honduras. We were born in Brooklyn, New York. Weeksville Projects, relocated to Los Angeles. Met Ice-T in Los Angeles, got together. Ice was a hustler, rhyming and stuff, and we were the B-boys doing our thing, so we got together and expanded. So we still, together we formed the Rhyme Syndicate. It has a lot of members you guys might know of, like Everlast, Muggs from Cypress Hill. Before he was Cypress Hill, he was 783, DJ Latin, you know, the great Dub C. Tim Story does great movies, my man Crush. Just a lot of cats, my man Big Spike, and it was led by Ice-T. We have others as well, Toddy T, King T. That was the Rhyme Syndicate family. The Alcoholics. And I've worked myself with, let's say, Tupac. You guys know Tupac. We did One Day at a Time. That was a great project. Same time, I worked with Spice One, MC Breed, and Yuck Mouth. They had a record on Spice One's record. It was pretty hot with Bobby Ross Avila. He's the music director for Usher at his residence in Los Angeles. And my man Bobby Ross, the Avila Brothers. I work with a lot of rappers on the Art of Rap. We have an Art of Rap, a film that Ice produced and put together, and it has 50 of the most influential rappers. You could say, let's say Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Dana Dane, Chuck D, of course, KRS-One, Common, had a lot of cats. DMC, Run, had a lot of cats on there. It was cool. You know, I was one of the producers also. My job was to get the cats together like I did back in the days, because I have relationships with all of these cats because we were the first doing this in the morning, early. You guys might be familiar with the saying 6 in the morning on a lot of these R&B records, whatever, it came from us. A record called 6 in the Morning. That's the first gangster rap record out of Los Angeles. And after that, we did a couple of other songs that Ice-T and Colors. We did the record Colors. So we the ones that introduced banging from Los Angeles internationally through the record Colors. That started my career on the big league as well. So now I'm working with Final Level Music. That's Ice-T and my label. We got a couple of artists. They're pretty hot. And we got shit cracking. I can keep going, but I don't know if there's enough time. So, you know, work on. My manager, my ex-manager, I said, what's up? We did a lot of things. He's now Madonna's manager, and he now U2's manager. Bono, Guy Osiri, that's my man. Peace to him. He had a lot to do with the career of me and my brother when we had our record called Brothers out on Pendulum Records through Elektra. It's pretty hot. And yeah, man, you know, go on and on. My artists today, they work with a lot of the rappers that's out now. It's like more of a relevant catalog today, but we still rock the old school, you know, bebop. So Final Level Music.
all right, let's get into the Tupac thing. So before you did One Day at a Time with Tupac, you knew him from way back, like the Digital Underground days.
Of course.
Can you talk about some of the stories of his early days of him coming up in the industry?
Yeah, Pac was around, you know, he was dancing with Digital Underground. Everybody knows the story and stuff. We bumped into him when we were riding through Oakland, and, you know, they were over there, and we were on tour probably with NWA and the Syndicate. And Pac, you know, he used to come on the bus and stuff. They were active, of course, from the Bay, even though Too Short was the first one. So that's, you know, the intro of that. Then he got to Los Angeles and started his solo career before Death Row, hanging out with Tretch, and, you know, we all family, so. And then after that, he got the Death Row. We still was all family. You know, we family with everybody. We intro this hip hop stuff. So Pac was a good friend. Took him over to the house over there by USC, where we kind of did Ice-T's first album at our house, Evil Lee in my house. Africa Islam produced it, of course. The first Rhyme Syndicate, they the one that put it together. And but Pac, yeah, I seen Pac. It was interesting. He was at Loud Records, and he was shopping his record to Steve Rifkin, and he was just hanging out, right? And he gave me a cassette tape with all of his homies on there, all gadded up with a Polaroid picture in there. So I was breaking my neck to look for it, but that was pretty interesting. Outside of that, that was my buddy, Ice-T, and I used to tell him, like, yo, you know, all eyes on you for real, like, slow down a little bit, you know, when he was on speed, you know, when he was moving fast. But you know, that's our loved one. Rest in peace. And his mom was a friend of mine as well. Through Pac, he introduced me to moms. You know, when they had the small house in the valley, when they first landed, got out here in Los Angeles. So he was cool people, man. Real cool. Very talented. He wrote his own lyrics. You know, so picked his own music and really dealt with people that he knew, his friends. You know, so.
And then One Day at a Time, how did that come about? How did you guys get together to do that song?
Well, I seen Pac behind the scenes when we was doing TV shows with Ice, you know, so I was with Ice. The picture that you guys showed, it was me, DJ Ace, Ice-T, and Tupac. So we were just, I was talking to him. I knew he was working on this record. So I said, yo, I got some music, you know, so I want you to check out. You got some time? He said, all right, bet, no problem. So, you know, Jeeve and I had some music. My man Jeeve, we were doing music. We had like 25, 30 songs, a lot of songs he and I put together. And they were cool. There was a lot of vibes. I'm from New York, so like the New York side. And Jeeve was like programming, and he's a musician, so it was a dope situation. So Pac picked quite a few of those songs. And one day I was calling him, not one day, I kept calling him. And then I asked him, yo, you pull up, you know, we're at the Crack House, AKA Ice-T's house, studio downstairs from his mansion. So Pac came up, you know, one day with the Outlaws, you know, was chilling, talking a little bit. He was writing to a song that Jeeve and I put together called One Day at a Time. I actually titled it One Day at a Time. So, and I had a rap ready for that too, but you know, I wasn't really rhyming like that. I used to rhyme a long time ago with my brother, Evil Lee. So, but yeah, so we did the record. You know, Pac was we were about to do like 8 records, so that Jeeve and I put together. So Pac liked 8 of them out of the pack that we gave him. So we was vibing a little bit, but my man George and also called Ice-T's manager, told him we'd turn in the Body Count album. So I just had to pause a little bit, the session, and rock out a little bit. So Pac was like, all right, you know, cool, okay, I'll be back. You know, he was doing a movie at the time. So that was 2 weeks prior to him having his incident in Las Vegas. So that's how that record got together. He did 1 verse. After that, you know, the label was putting his Resurrection album together. So of course they were looking for the recordings and stuff like that. So I had the reel and everything and the masters and everything. So I talked to moms and she talked to the States, and they Camp looked for me, and they said Eminem's gonna mix it, what have you. I'm like, okay. And from there, you know, Eminem had actually a similar track to the one that he had with Biggie on it when Biggie and Pac did that song on the Resurrection. It was One Day at a Time. Eminem came on first, then actually Pac came, then Eminem, then the Outlaws came on the third. Matter of fact, the Outlaws was up at the studio. Pac took him up there.
When he actually recorded
he wrote and recorded the record, and Ice-T was up there as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's how One Day at a Time came upon.
Yeah. Okay. And then in the phone interview, obviously, we talked about the Delray situation. I'm sure you saw his little response to that. But I just want to talk about originally, was that a beat that you and Jeeves did from scratch, or
Yes.
was it okay, so it wasn't somebody else's song?
No, it wasn't somebody else's song. I get vibes off of songs. So, you know, I got a couple of vibes that would hit songs at one time. So I just basically restructured it, gave it the same vibe, and rocked and roll on that. So that's how we did that.
All right. And then
On the whole catalog, actually.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so Delray basically said that he had the song first, that he had recorded a song with Melly Mel originally, and that when Resurrection came out, he heard it and said, that's my song, went to Universal, threatened a lawsuit, got some kind of contract written up that you guys all signed or whatever. You know, I know somebody on your level, that guy's really low, so I hate to harp on it, but can you just be clear as to if he had anything to do with that record originally, yes or no?
The creation of that record was Jeeve and I. Okay. Delray was around. I'm the one that introduced Melly Mel and Scorpio to Jeeve. And then Delray was in the area working, you know, with Jeeve, trying to get basically, you know, he was just coming into Hollywood, let's say. So that's what that was.
Gotcha. So so maybe he was there when you guys worked on the beat, but he didn't do anything.
Nobody was there when he worked on
Okay.
it. It was just Jeeve and I.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. And then, so how does the estate reach out to you as far as knowing that you have the master? Is it something like the Outlaws kind of said, "Oh, I remember we went over here and we did, we did Pac did a verse with, with Hen Gee." Maybe the estate reaches out. How did that go about as far as them contacting you to say, number one, did you do any material with Pac, and number two, do you actually, you have the reel or do you have the Pro Tools or whatever?
Well, I was looking for Pac through his mom. So it came right back around. Mom told him, we did the song. And I have friends, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. They let me know. Somebody tried to register the song, actually, at one time. Somebody we know. A friend of mine worked there and told me because she knew the deal. And she cut that just because I let them sing on the hook. That's what usually happens on a lot of these songs. If you let them float, somebody will evidently register it and then you be asked out. That happens that way. Right. So a lot. But we work off of like kind of trust. There's a lot of relationships we got. Sometimes they don't work with people that don't have no name. So I had to level it up so the other man can grow accordingly. Because they don't just put someone that's brand new on a Tupac record.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
And from what it sounded like to me, that's kind of the situation of what that guy did. Is it seems like he took the beat, made a song, registered it, and then used that as proof that it was somehow he was involved. I don't know. But other than that, so can you talk to me about when the Resurrection soundtrack came out? What did you think of Eminem's remix? As far as, I think people heard your beat because Spice One had done a verse on it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it came out, I don't know what year they were trying to put it out, but it leaked on the internet, 2002, 2001, somewhere around there. So people have heard that beat, but what did you think of Eminem's rendition of what he did around those vocals?
Pac rapped on what he wanted to rap off. I don't think he would have rapped off the M beat because that's the M beat. So Pac has his own style. So the stuff that Juvenile catered was for Pac. That's why I gave him a nice pack of beats, specifically not trying to sound like Dr. Dre's stuff or Johnny J's. Right. So it was just in the middle stuff. That's where I came from anyway. Right. So the R&B stuff, put some hip hop in it, vibe it out a little bit. Yeah. So
when you were making those beats, were you were making them with Pac in mind? Like, this is some shit I want to give to him, or?
I used to DJ on K-Day, 1580 K-Day. I was an AM 1580 K-Day mix master. And I played those records on the air, the original ones. So I vibed out and seen what the crowd was rocking to. So I just updated them, let's say, and vibed on a kind of similar vibe off the songs. And that's where we come from anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the stuff that you're working on today and some of the projects that you have going right now?
Yeah, I got Ice-T and I have a final level. We got Fetty DeMarco, he's Ice's protege. The great Tookie Williams' nephew, he's from Watts, California. That's Fetty DeMarco. We have M. Taylor, he's from Detroit. We got that ghetto soul going on. He's hot. Both of them got records with a lot of cats that are out now. And like Fetty and M. did a song with Jim Jones. M. did a song with Sada Baby, Mozzie. We have Namek as well. Namek has a record with Battle Cat that we're putting out the second single now. The first one has Baby Nate Dogg, aka Inhale. So and Namek is a beast. He won Power 106 when they had that Freestyle Friday. He took that. We have 6 Easy from the Midwest. He's dope. He's a player, a hustler. He got that vibe. To me, kind of similar like a Beanie Siegel. You know what I mean? So he's pretty hot. And we got Daniel Peter. He's a singer. He's like a Chris Brownish, Justin Bieber-ish type cat. Different strokes for different folks. We got it all, but he's dope. He produces as well. He's a genius. We have Zaim. Zaim, he's a nephew from the Force MDs, the group Force MDs back in the days. Zaim sings background and his uncle that passed, so he's one of the singers as well with the Force MDs when they do their classics, but he could sing like them with today's touch. Zaim, he's dope. And we got Merkums. Merkums just did a song with Mano in New York, so Merkums is dope. That's Ice's cat out of Arizona. So we're working on that final level. Final Level Music. And I have Art of Rap Latino. It's we did the Art of Rap, but I'm doing the Art of Rap Latino. Is Latinos in rap, of the ethnicities of the Latinos, the style, how they write, how they focus, and how they do their music. So it's called Art of Rap Latino. It's pretty dope. Got a little teaser I might show y'all. Yeah, man, and working out, you know, making sure I stay physically fit. So when the fits come, I know how to like move or something, because things happen in these blogs, man. You gotta watch yourself. People are getting kind of like very disrespectful in this YouTube world. So I just prepare myself for whatever on that, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
You know, take care of my family, you know what I'm saying? Look for me, HenGee Garcia. HenGee Garcia. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, what have you, LinkedIn, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Part of the famous Rhyme Syndicate. If you know about it, read up on it, the Rhyme Syndicate. And we are Final Level, Final Level Music. I appreciate y'all for this time.